Hi class. Today I want to talk about Republican motherhood, an idea brought up by the very brilliant Linda Kerber, who is also the author of your textbook. And as well, I'd like to talk a little bit about Abigail Adams and Remember the Ladies. But first, let's talk about this Republican motherhood. So Linda Kerber is one of my idols, I have to say. The first time I ever met her, I walked up to her and told her that she was my version of Brad Pitt, and I couldn't be more excited to meet her. She laughed at me and didn't think I was too weird. And we ended up exchanging email addresses, and subsequently she's been a fan of my work. So I'm a very privileged woman to have met her. Her idea of Republican motherhood was phenomenal, and you'll read about that in Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. But she talks about how the early republic did give women a chance to enhance their position, because now not only were they mothers, but they could be the potential mother of the next president of the United States of America. And as such, then there need to be improvements in education. Judith Sargent Murray is one person that is closely tied to this movement to educate women. There were benefits in divorce laws, things of that nature that come about because of Republican motherhood. This idea that in a republic, any mother might be the future president's mother, and therefore she should, any woman should have at least some education. So this was a new idea because it was thought women didn't need education. And example of a very educated woman and a very influential woman in the early republic is Abigail Adams, the wife of John Adams. You see her here. That's her portrait right there. The wife of John Adams, who is the second president, or was the second president of the United States of America. Well, at the time that the Declaration of Independence is being debated and written, John Adams is one of the group. Thomas Jefferson's the one who pens it ultimately, but there are many more people involved. And John Adams is one of those people. And so John Adams is off. Abigail Adams' life was often one of solitude with her children, as she ran everything at home. While John was an ambassador to foreign nations, when John was in the Republic, in the early Republic, forming the government. And so we're going to go over here to some of the letters. The letters that we have from Abigail to John are a wonderful treasure trove. And one of the things that I love the most is this letter that you see in front of you, which we call the Remember the Ladies. And she says, okay, so you think of the time, it's March 31st, 1776, and John and Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson and others are working on the Declaration to declare independence. They're thinking about how to declare it. She says, I long to hear that you have declared an independency. And by the way, in the new code of laws, which I suppose it will be necessary for you to make, I desire you to remember the ladies and be more generous and favorable to them than your ancestors. Do not put such unlimited power into the hands of the husbands. Remember, all men would be tyrants if they could. If particular care and attention is not paid to the ladies, we are determined to foment a rebellion and will not hold ourselves bound by any laws in which we have no voice or representation. That your sex are naturally tyrannical is a truth so thoroughly established as to admit of no dispute. But such of you as wish to be happy willingly give up the harsh title of master for the more tender and endearing one of friend. Why then not put it out of the power of the vicious and the lawless to use with us with cruelty and indignity with impunity? Men of sense in all ages abhor those customs which treat us only as the servants of your sex. Regard us then as being placed by Providence under your protection, and in imitation of the Supreme Being, make use of that power only for our happiness. In return, he says, he calls her saucy. He says, as for your extraordinary code of laws, I cannot but laugh. Later he says, he says, your letter was the first intimation to that another tribe more numerous and powerful than all the rest were grown discontented. He says, but you are so saucy, I won't blot it out. Their lives together were quite, an interesting one. And to many degrees, John Adams did very much respect Abigail Adams. And not enough that they got into the Declaration of Independence that all men and women were created equal, but we can see that women were very political and very involved in the beginning of our independence. Have a great day.